All right, let's talk about knowledge management. I know. The term itself probably makes you think of like clunky software, endless paperwork, and just a whole lot of bureaucracy, right? But what if I told you that's completely missing the point? Today, we're going to strip away all that corporate jargon and get to the simple, really powerful idea at its heart. So, first things first, let's clear the air. The big myth is that knowledge management is some kind of rigid, top down system that gets forced on everyone. But the reality, it's so much simpler. It's just daily learning. It's about the stuff we're all already doing every single day, just, with a little more purpose. So, what does that actually mean, daily learning? Well, here's the key. It's all about turning your team's everyday experiences, the small wins, the tough lessons, those clever little fixes, into a resource that actually lasts. Something that anyone can use long after that moment is gone. And how do we actually do that? Well, it really just boils down to 5 pretty straightforward actions. We're going to walk through each one. First, you capture, then you share, then store, then teach, and finally, you preserve. Think of this as the basic playbook for making knowledge stick around. So let's jump into that first step. Step 1, capture insights. Now, this is not about writing some 5-page formal report. Not at all. It's the simple act of just pausing, noticing something valuable while it's happening, and, making a quick note of it. It's really just about paying attention in the middle of all the chaos. And look at how normal this stuff is. Capturing an insight can be as simple as jotting down a few notes after a project, or maybe the main takeaways from a client call. It could even be a clever bit of code that solved a nasty problem or a surprising comment from a customer. These are all tiny moments, but they have huge value. Okay, so that leads us right into our next step, because capturing an insight is great, but its real power gets unlocked when you share it. Step 2 is all about actively communicating what you've learned with the people who could actually use it. I mean, think about it. Knowledge that's just locked up in one person's head isn't a resource, it's a risk. And again, this doesn't have to be a big production. Sharing can be as simple as a quick message in your team chat saying, "Hey, I messed this up, here's how I fixed it." It could be forwarding a cool article with a one-sentence takeaway, or even doing a super informal lunch and learn with a couple of colleagues. The goal here is circulation, not ceremony. So, you've captured it, you've shared it. What now? Well, step 3 is to store these resources. This is about creating a home for all this collective knowledge. A place that's reliable, organized, and maybe most importantly, easy for anybody to search so they can find what they need right when they need it, right? And this home could be a simple shared drive with all your project templates, or a team wiki that spells out key processes, or maybe a database of all your client feedback. The point is to give this valuable info a permanent address so it doesn't just get lost in a sea of emails or chat messages. Now, this 4th step, teaching others, is where knowledge really comes alive. This is probably the most active part of the whole process. You're not just sharing information anymore. You're actually transferring skills and a deeper understanding to your coworkers. You're literally building up the skills of the people around you. Just think about it for a second. It could be mentoring a junior team member, or recording a quick how-to video on your screen, or even just sitting down with a colleague to program something together. The cool thing is when you teach something, you understand it better yourself, and you empower someone else. It's a total win-win. And all of that brings us to the 5th and final step, which is really the ultimate goal of everything we've talked about, to preserve wisdom. This is the big payoff. It's about getting beyond just random facts and individual skills to actually embedding that deep experience into the DNA of your organization. And here's why that matters so much. When you consistently capture and share and store and teach, what you're really doing is making sure that your team's experience, all those wins and losses, doesn't just evaporate into thin air. It transforms into a real strategic resource that's going to fuel your future success, helping you stop repeating old mistakes and start hitting new goals faster. So let's bring it all home with one last thought. Forget about the fancy term knowledge management. Instead, just ask yourself this one simple question at the end of the day. What is one lesson from today that is worth preserving for tomorrow? If you just start there, trust me, you're already doing it.